It all started several hours before the bodies were discovered. This is frustrating and perplexing all the same when it comes to Austin Robert Drummond. Austin Robert Drummond is the 28-year-old accused of a quadruple homicide in Lake County, Tennessee. It all started several hours before the bodies were discovered. And that's when a 911 came in about an abandoned baby. An abandoned baby was in Dyer County, some 20 to 40 minutes away. And they said they had no idea whose child this was, but it wound up in their yard in a car seat. There's been an awful lot of information related to Cortney Rose, which was one of the victims, the grandmother to the abandoned baby. Her sister was allegedly dating Austin Drummond, but a lot of the family said they weren't dating for a while. Yet law enforcement keeps saying they were currently dating. And so in this article, you hear about her being the current girlfriend, but then you hear the statement from one of the family in-laws that dispute that. This has been a problem in this matter. Why is it a problem? I think many people want to know if Cortney's sister might be involved or have some knowledge of what happens. Here's the latest article from Fox News. Let me know what you think. Agents find car of missing man wanted for murdering 4 family members and abducting a baby. Dyer County, Tennessee, a reward totaling $15,000 has been offered for information that leads to the arrest of the suspect in the death of 4 family members related to an abandoned 7-month-old baby girl. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, TBI, is offering $7,500 with the U.S. Marshal Service offering up an additional $7,500 for any additional information leading to the arrest of the man authorities believe is responsible for 4 deaths, 28-year-old Austin Drummond. The FBI announced around 2:15 p.m. Friday that agents found the Audi A3 they believe Drummond was driving unoccupied in Jackson, Tennessee. The TBI put out an alert for the car on Thursday saying the 2016 Audi A3 had Tennessee license plates RI 01896 and damage to the driver's side. Drummond is about 5 foot 10 inches tall and 190 pounds. Drummond's Facebook says that he lives in Jackson, Tennessee. The Jackson Police Department said they believe he may have been living in his car in a wooded area of Jackson after committing the murders. TBI asked the public to help them find Drummond. State's authorities said Drummond was wanted by TBI and the Lake County Sheriff's Department for 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, 4 counts of unlawful possession of a weapon, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during a dangerous felony. The TBI added Drummond's to the Tennessee Most Wanted list. Information leading to his capture could be worth up to $15,000. Investigators found 20-year-old Adrianna Williams, 21-year-old Matthew Wilson, 38-year-old Cortney Rose, and 15-year-old Braydon Williams dead in Lake County on Tuesday night, shortly after a baby was discovered in a car seat in a front yard in Dyer County. Authorities say all 4 of the deceased were related to the abandoned baby. A Facebook post was made by a family member provided a little clarity on the history between Drummond and the deceased. According to the post made by Briar Ashley Childress, an in-law of the victims, Drummond previously dated the sister of Cortney Rose. The statement reads, "Yes, he was close to the family. Yes, we cared about him and thought he cared about us. He has literally been nothing short of amazing to us and our kids every time he has been around us up until this point. He has been amazing to our niece. We never expected him to cause any harm to anyone, much less anyone in our family. We are heartbroken. We are confused. We are devastated. We are mortified. We are hurting. Our kids are hurting. If you think for 1 second that people only get hurt by strangers, look up. 90% of murder cases, A lot of times it's by someone close to them that at one time showed love and support to them. Sometimes even their own spouse. So please think before you comment something ugly. Yes, we thought we knew him. Cortney's sister thought she knew him. Cortney, Adrianna, Braydon, and Matthew. We want justice for my sister-in-law, niece, nephew, and niece's boyfriend more than any one of you that have never even met our loved ones. Childress wrote, in part, in the post. Fox 13 investigators discovered that Drummond spent a whopping 13 years in custody of the Tennessee Department of Corrections on convictions of aggravated robbery and retaliation for past action. Those crimes occurred in Madison County, Tennessee, home of Jackson, Tennessee. That prison sentence expired on September 1st, 2024. Fox 13 reached out to Drummond's attorney, Drew Farmer, for a statement on the latest allegations against Drummond. Farmer said no comment. Authorities said Drummond should be considered armed and dangerous. If you have any idea where he is, the TBI urges you to call authorities immediately. We have a dangerous man on the loose. If you know where Austin Drummond is, please don't be a hero and please don't be loyal. He senselessly unalived 4 individuals, leaving several children without parents. Thank you for watching the Bullhorn Betty channel, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you and take care.
Videos to watch, but as you guys know, I needed some downtime. A lot of these cases, they get to me, you know. It's like I say, a lot of it is the same stories, different faces. This is one of those cases where I know there's a lot of fluid information, a lot of activity. We do have a manhunt. We have 3 people associated with Austin Robert Drummond arrested at this hour. I'm still confused about Caitlin, whether she is actually in jail or not. I've been getting mixed information on that, and nothing of a reliable source has been able to provide me information. I guess I'm going to probably have to do some digging and try to find any type of information in the state of Tennessee related to arrest of Caitlin to find out if she's in jail right now. She's been released. Again, I don't understand why she would be in jail, a non-violent offender, and they would allow a very violent offender to walk amongst us. And that is the main conversation point today on the Bullhorn Betty channel. The other major conversation point is, when is Tennessee going to be tired of having egg on their face? I just want to know. Because as many of you guys know, I have high regard for Bill Lee as well as Senator Marsha Blackburn. High regard for them. Not everybody likes them. Whatever. Not, you know, I get it. I don't really care. My point is I have high regard for them. And it's very upsetting that their state keeps winding up on my channel because, again, have high regard. But at some point, I'm going to have to say, what the hell's going on here, Governor Bill Lee? What is going on here, Senator Marsha Blackburn? Why, after all this time, both of you have been in office, why do we not have better laws in the state of Tennessee to keep the animals behind bars? A tough on crime, red state. Okay? I know there's people that don't really care for my politics, and God bless you guys for being here and putting up with my shenanigans. But we are about holding people accountable. Period. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. Okay? This is on my side of the aisle. You don't see me holding back. You don't see me holding back. I'm tired of covering the state of Tennessee. Tired of it. Tired of it so much so that I'm ready to just go a little radical. I'm I'm ready to go a little radical with the state of Tennessee because I don't know what else to do. We're all helplessly watching people being injured in the state of Tennessee when we can see that there's a path forward to put an end to a lot of it. And they're taking their sweet time and slow walking their penal codes and stuff that only Congress can vote on and make policy and make law and make tough on crime laws, instead of just saying you're tough on crime, which we hear it from Bill Lee, hear it from Senator Marsha Blackburn, my people that I highly regard, always talking about tough on crime. Yet here I am, Bullhorn Betty, a MAGA supporter, constantly down your throats because of the crap going on in Tennessee. I'm tired of it. So we have a violent felon that should have never been released within less than a year of being released out into the wilderness with all of us good, working, hard Americans to be slaughtered by a violent criminal that should have been behind their bars. This is on Tennessee, as many of the other cases are on Tennessee. These cases not getting closed is on Tennessee. I am going to keep saying Tennessee, 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 Tennessee until the people in Tennessee get a blessed clue. I don't like covering the state of Tennessee. I am getting sick and tired of things like this happening in the state of Tennessee, a tough on crime state. I can't see it. I hear it. I hear all the politicians in Tennessee talking about being tough on crime. But when the rubber meets the road, failure, 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 mismanagement, 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 mismanagement. I am a well-rounded individual that knows about criminal cases and knows heavily about politics. I am heavily involved in my politics here in the state of Florida and actually around the country. You guys may not know how many hands I've got in the pot around this country, but I do. And I have got to tell you, I am tired of the mismanagement. The mismanagement is the catalyst to all the problems in Tennessee. The financial mismanagement, the good old boys club in your small communities that have to be broken up because they're strangling your growth. And things have got to be put in action. We have to start holding these criminals accountable. I understand that the state of Tennessee has always been, for the most part, a free and open state for people to live freely and not be held down by the government. I get that. But when you have such a large number of people in your state, unfortunately, the laws you once have to start getting tighter and have to start getting tighter. Why? Because when you have the law of large numbers and the people that don't want to follow the law, they start manipulating. They start finding loopholes. They start working in that. And it's the responsibility of the state and the Congress to close those loopholes and give law enforcement the tools they need and the judges and the court systems the money they need and the jails the money they need so they don't have to keep letting violent criminals out on the streets because they can't afford to house them. Tennessee, when it comes to law enforcement, seems to be a broke state. But I know how much money the state of Tennessee collects. I know how much money they receive in federal funds. There is no good excuse for what I'm seeing in the state of Tennessee, except ignorance, incompetence, mismanagement, either intentional or unintentional, overpaying your bureaucrats, mismanagement. And you know what happens when mismanagement happens? People die. As clearly observed in all of the crap that we've been watching over the last few last few days. Give me just a second. Got to get all my stuff up. So thank you guys for allowing me to bend your ear of my frustration, my anger, my animosity that I'm starting to. I can't stand these flipping mouses. They work, they don't work. I have to go through 15 freaking mouses. I don't have patience for all this crap anymore. Give me just a second. Let me delete this. I'm on StreamYard today. I wish I would have went to Restream, honestly, because I'm getting sick and tired of them losing my audio. Okay. So many of you guys know that I fangirl over Matt Thibodeau. And he's just, I like to support the folks that are doing good, right? And he's always doing good. He tries to keep to the facts. He doesn't always provide his opinion, but I love it when he does provide his opinion, because his opinion is a breath of fresh air, somebody that has opinions and doesn't mind bringing journalistic information and then a side of opinion. Melanie, it's nice to see you. Eeyore Blues. Don, Tracy, good morning. Good morning. The real Me Too up in the house. Phil, hello. Our beautiful Sonia up in the house. And coming to Sonia, I got to show you guys this, okay? I got a little care package. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I think she came up with something fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. Mommy and me. Okay, mommy and me. Okay, look at that. There's the me. And there's the mommy. Ah! Me and Delilah. Me and Delilah will be matching. Look at that. Look at that. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, all of my beautiful coffee club members that have their little fur babies, and you guys have that special bond and that little special, saying or whatever. Aw, can you imagine having a shirt, a mommy shirt with your little fur baby on it, and says, and the fur baby has like, I'm the boss. And you have your little fur baby and says, I think I'm the boss. But even if it's not even Bullhorn Betty themed, you guys get creative. Reach out to Sonia. Get a mommy and me package. Get a mommy and me package. And if you have a granny and a little or whatever, hey, she's got kid clothes. She got kid clothes. So I just thought it was cute. And as you guys can see, the shirt, Delilah's shirt, I already put it on her. So she already wore it. You guys can't see it, but it's got a few little hairs on it. So I was trying to brush them off. I didn't want you to think Sonia sent me dirty clothes. She didn't. I just put it on her. Delilah slept in her shirt last night. So she's got a little hair on. That's all. That's all. But thank you. Thank you. Very sweet. Very sweet. Peggy, it's nice to see you. Denise, hello. Wild Wolf, good morning. Dee's Mystery, Terry, it's nice to see you. Dixie, hey, 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 love. Just my girls. Faye, it's nice to see you. Ruby, good morning. YouTuber, hey, hey, hey. Vicky, it's nice to see you as well. Alcoholic up in the house. It's nice to see you, love. Spicy Disaster. Good morning, Pebbles. It's nice to see you, my love. Randa's up in the house. Houston, good morning. Oops, I did it. It's all my fault. It truly is all my fault. There's nothing I could do about it. I accidentally hit the wrong. I didn't realize on my mouse we have these buttons right here, and I hit one and it went backwards. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to give you guys heart attacks. Nothing happened to the system. It was me. I hit the wrong thing on here. I don't even know where I was. So I see I'm just going to go up a little bit and start from where I go up. I don't remember seeing any of you. There we go. I think I saw this. Donna, it's nice to see you. Panda Bear's mom. IMO. It's nice to see you. SRK, good morning, love. Christy, it's nice to see you. Connie, good morning. Auntie E up in the house. Our beautiful Pete. Reba, it's nice to see you. Did I say hi to you, Crystal Pistol? I can't remember. Fashion, if I didn't, good morning. Passion Flower, morning. Kara loves embroidery and crime shows. Trust the process. It's nice to see you. Periwinkle Moon, good morning. Mary, it's nice to see you. Sharon, good morning. No more lies. Kaz, it's nice to see you. Mimi Ma, in my opinion, it's nice to see you, love. No more lies. And Kaz. So I think we got through everybody. If I missed somebody, I do apologize. It does happen. We do have some technical issues, especially running through StreamYard, and why I've been procrastinating on moving it. I finally looked at some Streamlabs stuff. I got to watch some videos on OBS. I got to set up a stupid stuff. So I'm not really looking forward to this massive undertaking and project that I have to do to get us moved over, but it is what it is. We're going to survive. It's just, I'm pulling my hair out in the process. That's all, right? And then I shut down because I'm like, this seems like it's going to be so hard, right? But it's just me. So it's like, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just do the crap. So what have I been doing? I've been going around the house finding other crap to do. Guess what I did so I didn't have to try to change systems yesterday? Raise your hand if you can imagine what Bullhorn Betty was doing yesterday. Instead of being on here trying to get the system moved over for y'all, I'm looking at it and I said, okay, got on the Streamlabs. I watched 2 minutes tops of the first introductory video, and I'm like, don't I have a front door I need to pull off and change the hinges on? That sure seems a lot better than watching a video. Sweating your tail end off and huffing and puffing and, handling a 60-pound front door seems so much easier on a Sunday to be doing. Why is my system lagging? All right, well then I'll take it off stage. I have a lagging system. I am so sick and tired of StreamYard. Good gracious. Let it think. It's literally clicking behind here. I even turned off the big hard drive so it didn't lag the system. I hate StreamYard. There's nothing. If you guys are on StreamYard, find a different system. I hate StreamYard. If you're not having problems now, just wait. You will. You will. It's without a doubt you will. So anyways, that's what I did. I took the front door off and I changed the hinges. Did I tell you about the threshold? I walked out the door and stepped out. I couldn't figure out what was going on. All of a sudden, the door wouldn't close right. And I realized the threshold had fully come off the concrete. And then I realized my husband never even screwed the threshold into the concrete. What? Yeah. I to this moment, after having to fix the hinges, guys, I don't even think my front door was even secured into the concrete. It is now. That door, it ain't going nowhere. Where's that door going? It ain't going nowhere. Not only is it not going anywhere, when I open it, it's got that nice suction, and I can just take my finger and go, and it shuts. There's no lifting, there's no pulling, there's no tugging. You know why? Because I'm a bomb ass. Oh, sorry. A bomb. Did I knock my freaking camera out? I don't like this. Look at that. I just picked up a button and I lost my camera. Aren't you guys glad we're on StreamYard? Good gracious, I hate StreamYard. There. I'm so over StreamYard, like I'm ready to end this show. How do I feel about StreamYard? I'm not even allowed to tell you in words how I feel about StreamYard. But either way, we got a front door. It opened and closes just fine. It's got new hardware on it, and I did it all by myself. Here is the trick for you ladies if you ever have to do what I had to do. Take the whole door off, okay? Get the, the things out. And I got to tell you, those little pegs that they put in the hinges now, it took, I tell you what, I wish I was a little more frustrated yesterday because it would have helped a little bit. I don't know if you guys have installed hinges, but trying to bust those little pegs out to split them apart, I thought I was going to have to beat the whole darn door out of the wall to get the pegs out. And I'm like, by the time I was done with those, I'm like, oh, who wants to do that? Probably should have hired somebody. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. And I did it wrong the first time, and I about broke my back. I'm surprised I'm even up. I was going to do my live from the bedroom because I just knew my back was going to kill me. I just knew it. But I took some leave, and this morning I was moving. I'm surprised. Who knows how tomorrow will be, but today we're doing fine. The trick is, do not put the hinges completely all the way into the base. You want to leave them loose, so when you move the door up, you can move the hinges to adjust to the door. So when you shut the door, you can just knock the little, the little long stick thingies down in the hinges. And then you don't have any problems. Well, it took me about 20 minutes of fighting with, because I screwed all the hinges into the wall, into the cement. And I had to back them all out because the door was fighting me so flippin' bad that I was about to throw the frickin' door out the front into the front yard. So I realized that just a few little minor adjustments like loosening the screws will save my back, save my mind, and save the door and save some time. And which equates to money for me. So now we got a good front door. We got a new threshold that we put in last week, or actually, how long has it been? It's been about a month now when I walked out there. So we put a new threshold in a month. Caulking has already cracked, but it's because the door was dragging on it. And so now we've got to recaulk the threshold, and I think we have a winner chicken dinner. No more problems. It just took me. Did I tell you that everything my husband has done, my ex-husband has done around this house, I've had to absolutely redo everything from the roof, the front door, the microwave, the vent. I wasn't able to wash my clothes. It took me 5 dries in my dryer, and I was hell-bent on not buying a new dryer. 5 dries just to get one load of laundry dry. I was for sure it was my dryer. Guess what? It was not. Despite me telling my ex-husband, do not use metal vents. Use plastic that flip up. He used a metal vent. And with all of the crap, all of his equipment, he managed to bend that metal vent. And so the thing that's supposed to pop up never popped up. So none of that humidity from those clothes was ever getting out of the house. So it took me 5 dries to get one load of laundry. I went out there, I fixed the problem. I have no more problems. My clothes go in the dryer, and I push it one time, and the clothes come out dry. I went 7 years. Every load of laundry took 3 to 5 dries. Years. But I'm too cheap to buy a new dryer. So there you have it, folks. And it was never the dryer to begin with. So my dryer is a perfect dryer. And the reason why my half of my lights in my house, did I tell you I brought the electrician out here? And I was having the short every time I opened the microwave. They wanted to charge me almost $8,000 to rewire this house because clearly there was more, I was using more power than my system could hold. That's what the master electrician came here and told me. Well, it only took me 2 seconds to realize I needed a new microwave. Do you know that I spent, well, you guys know I installed the microwave myself because I showed you, and that was about 2 months ago. And that was, oh my God, breaking my back. And that was because my ex-husband decided to drill screws into the casing of the microwave. If you have never installed a microwave before, they actually have bolts and holes on the top of the microwave that these bolts go into. So you don't have to do that. And so the short was from him screwing into it, and it must have finally just wore into the insulation on one of the connectors and started shorting out my house. I almost had to pay $8,000 for a $200 microwave. Okay, enough about me. If you guys were wondering why I wasn't here this weekend, it's because I was, I had a big event over at my best friend's on Saturday, and then yesterday was my day off. So I just kind of chilled around the house, realized I had some, work to do related to building a new platform for us. And I thought changing the front door out would be more appropriate. But I'm not procrastinating. I'm just letting you know I'm not procrastinating. So as you guys know with the intro coming in, we have a quadruple homicide. I'm really, really, really trying to contain myself for the benefit of this family. Because at the end of the day, these were victims. And nobody should ever lose their life. And nobody should ever lose their life the way that these folks lost theirs. There's nothing that there's no lifestyle that they could live that deserved what the result of their outcome is. So I want to make sure that that's clear, And we are one of the few content creators that do take problematic cases. What do I mean by that? Mainstream media wants perfect victims in many cases for missing people, right? They want the perfect missing person. If there is an addict or a problem person that has maybe a criminal element or a criminal past and they're missing, see which mainstream media would really run their case. It's usually local. It's usually one or two spots, very limited, not very interesting. Why? Because the person's not perfect. Not the idea of what mainstream media wants to draw people in on, right? I don't know why, but it is what it is. I never understood why mainstream media operates the way that they do. It's probably one of these people that, one of the heads that say, oh, this is how we should be doing it. And everybody's like, yeah, okay, we'll do it that way. Not that it's the best way, but hey, whatever. I've lost all respect for a lot of mainstream media. There's still some mainstream media personalities that I highly respect and regard. And thank God they're still associated with mainstream media because they're the only thing that gives mainstream media a decent name. But in this particular situation, we are getting some major national coverage for this case. But what I find problematic, and I understand why, nobody wants the world to look at their family in a negative light, especially in a situation where you have, young folks, even a 15-year-old boy wiped off the face of this earth, for really senseless stuff that doesn't really matter. Definitely not worth taking a life or having this manhunt. And that Austin Drummond, this is a DP state. Like the dude's a dead man walking in the way I'm looking at it. He's done. And you know what? I usually don't do this a lot, but I'm going to. His parents failed him. His parents never made him accountable. His parents were so excited and happy that he was walking out of prison. What did they do? What did they do for him while he was in prison? They never made that boy accountable for jack shit. Now, I don't usually blame the parents, but seeing their faces, seeing them grinning from ear to ear, knowing that they created a monster and they refused to get that man help. I've never heard anything about the family ever getting him psychological assistance, dealing with his poor behavior growing up that even led him to this lifestyle of drugs and thugs. I'm sorry. Usually I don't do this because in all senses, I look at parents, even of these suspects, as victims themselves. But this one I can't. This one I can't because they were the ones raising this child, allowing him to be a thug and run all over those roads to even get in trouble, to go to prison for 13 years. I'm sorry, if I had a son like that, you bet your ass, if child abuse is what they're going to arrest me for, by God, that's what they're going to arrest me for. But I am beating the living snot out of my child until he understands how to act right. People may say, oh my God, Betty, you're abusive. You're abusive, Betty. I may be abusive, but I don't have disrespectful grandchildren. Right? When they start popping off at the mouth, they got a swat on the butt in a corner. What did these parents do to their child? Let me guess. Self-soothing? Self-soothing? His mom and father looked very nice. They look very nice. You know, they look like loving parents. I have no problem with loving parents. We actually want loving parents, right? And the fact that he didn't come from a broken home. He didn't come from a broken home. His mom and dad are still together. Do you know how hard that is in today's society? And most of the time we have a mom and dad together. We typically have a situation where the children are really well-rounded and well-behaved, unless there's other things going on inside of that home. Whether it's spousal abuse, alcoholism, substance abuse, you know, mommy and daddy working all the time and being out of the house so they can give that spoiled brat a better life. Either way you look at this child went to jail for 13 years under his parents' watch. Many parents have to deal with unruly kids. Only a limited number of them have their children going to prison for armed robbery. So, I don't know. I'm trying to be delicate, but I do have some anger when it comes to this case because there's a lot of people that are deceased right now that shouldn't be. And it seems to me that every single person out there, sorry guys, there's nothing I can do about it. Every single person out there that was supposed to help bring this person up and into society as a normal person seems like they were absent at the wheel. Now, I don't know why. There we go. Hopefully I get my thing back. I don't know why. Any type of little movement, it does something with StreamYard. It auto connects on Restream. So Mr. and Mrs. E, if you guys are on here and you guys are using StreamYard, I know Restream's slightly different, but if your cameras fall, they bring them right back up. I don't have to keep constantly clicking this button or clicking that button. I hate StreamYard, and I'm so sick of it taking over my freaking show. So let's just go right on into this. We have 3 people that have been arrested. 2 of them have been directly arrested related to accessory. It's after the fact. I am now starting to get a picture of this. Do I believe his friend, Brandon Powell, is without incident in this? No, I do not. No, I do not, because we were kind of misled a little bit because I'm hearing the Willow Lake Apartments were actually the location of Brandon. And we were hearing that it was his girlfriend, you know, the Caitlin lady that got the door kicked in the other day and all this other stuff. From everything I'm hearing, Willow Lake Apartments, that's where Brandon, his best friend, Brandon Xavier Powell, lived in Jackson, Tennessee. So we're finding out that the car is down the end of the block from these apartments. Many people believed it was Caitlin's apartment getting kicked in, and I'm hearing that it was actually Brandon's apartment getting kicked in and a search warrant being executed. But before that was happening and before he was arrested on these unrelated charges, he was on some type of social media. I couldn't find it directly. That's why I have to go to Matt, because Matt was able to capture it. I haven't been able to find it yet. I wasn't going to invest too much time into this aspect of it because I've got so much to show you guys this morning about this case. So we're all up to date on what's really going on behind the scenes. I think it's a multitude of things. When we read what Nick Barris had stated, I said, me and Nick Barris have a horrible professional relationship. I don't know him personally. I've got nothing to say negatively about him personally. But I would tend that he would not be one that would pop off at the mouth and say some things that he wasn't at least the majority certain on, 75% certain on. And one of the things he said was there was some type of, we know that they were introducing drugs into that penal facility, and there was some type of drug deal that went bad. There was a hit taken out on Matthew, which is the baby's father, and he was unaware of this hit. And I think that hit got called in of some sort. This guy decided to take the charge, do it. I think all of these people, including this Brandon Powell, are absolutely 100% involved. I believe Powell is the reason why Brown and Thomas are involved, because I didn't really see Brown and Thomas too much in all of Austin's history. Most of it was from, and all of the photos and daps and brotherhood seemed to be Powell, and I actually mistaken Powell for Brown. And I thought it was Brown seen until Matt Thibodeau put this guy out, this Brandon Powell. And as soon as I saw Brandon Powell's face, I'm like, that's the guy that was out when he got released from prison. This is his BFF. This is who this is his ride or die guy. Okay? It's Brandon Xavier Powell. So don't tell me he's calling Tanaka and Giovanni for help when his go-to is Brandon. Hey, Karen, it's nice to see you. So I think all of this, and then having his car down the road from Brandon's house, this is leaving me a very clear picture of what I believe happened that day. Now, was Giovanni, Tanaka, or Brandon involved in the actual homicide? I truly don't know. Could somebody have carried this out all by themselves? The answer is yes. So that gives me the pause to say, are these other people involved? Could they be? The answer is yes. Could they not be? The answer is yes. So I don't know one way or another. They could or could not be involved. I have to think that they're applying a lot of pressure. They've got 3 of his best buds behind bars right now. They are squeezing, and they are squeezing tight. This is what I like to see law enforcement doing. Okay? So as far as this investigative work, you guys are hearing me. This is what I'd like to see Tennessee doing. This is going after low-hanging fruit and squeezing. Okay? And he's got his 3 buds behind bars, charging them with some scary stuff. They're going to make those people talk. I was telling my mama last night, I said, the big one, which I'm talking about, Giovanni, right? Giovanni Thomas. I said, he was a blubbering mess in there. What do you mean, God? I didn't kill nobody. I didn't know. He was in there blubbering like a little bee. I know he was. These guys are all hard out on these streets until real life smacks them upside the head, and they are a bunch of whiny little bees. I believe Giovanni is the one that would have been breaking. I don't know why, because it's usually the ones that look the biggest. They're usually the biggest teddy bears. And when I watched his videos, he just did a lot of stupid stuff. He was throwing up gang signs here and there, but he was just doing a lot of knucklehead stuff. Not criminal stuff, just stupid stuff. So he seems like the weakest link of the bunch. If you ask me, I looked into the other ones. If law enforcement was to apply pressure, it's Giovanni Thomas, in my opinion. Giovanni Thomas looks like a mama's boy. And I think that Giovanni Thomas would be the weaker link out of the three that they arrested, just to let you know. Now, I want you guys to hear what, let me see if I got it in the right spot over here. I do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Matt Thibodeau. If you guys haven't, I'm only showing you guys a section. If you guys would like to see, and I would recommend you all signing up. I believe Matt does have a channel here on the YT, but he's well known on TikTok. But I just like his style. I like his no BS, here's the facts style, here's my opinion style. Right? It works for me. It works for me. So if it works for me and you guys like my comment, you guys will love him. He's really good. And you'll see. He's very soothing. His voice is soothing. It's not a bullhorn Betty.
Police and law enforcement came in. They raided where he lived. They looked through everything, and they did ultimately clear him of having any involvement.
I don't know if they ultimately cleared him. I mean, they haven't arrested him for anything, but I don't know if that's clearing, y'all. And there's several reasons why. The car was too close to his apartment for him not to be involved in something. I think this guy is the one speaking. Okay? They haven't charged him with anything like the other people, even though he is tighter with Austin than any of the other two people they arrested. I think he's turned. I think he is violating the code. I think he's violating the code, and I think his lips are moving. He's the only one out of the three. And look at him. He's the tightest person with Austin, and he's the only one out of the three that isn't being charged with after-the-fact charges. I don't believe. Because even the statements this man said about how he has been clear, it came before they raided his home, I believe. I believe it came before he raided his home. But let's go back just a little bit. Let me go back just a little bit. Here it is.
It was basically saying that police and law enforcement came in. They raided where he lived. They looked through everything, and they did ultimately clear him of having any involvement in Austin Drummond's escape and flee from authorities, as well as the unalivings.
Like, y'all folk weird as hell. Like, y'all bitches talking about some accessory. I ain't no accessory to.
It's my understanding this video here was before the raid. So I need somebody to confirm that for me. Matt, if you're doing this on replay, let me know, because that's my question. Let me just go back here to 30. Let's listen to this.
And taken into custody and facing a charge. However, I am being told that he is not being charged with anything related to the quadruple homicide or with accessory to MURDER after the fact. Right before Brandon's arrest, he actually went live on...
Right before Brandon's arrest, he actually went live. So I don't really think he has no involvement. I think he said that, and they were like, they were probably giving him some space to see where he goes, to see what calls he made, to see if he'll lead him to Austin. That would have been most likely why he was left out. But he probably did this post, and they're like, oh nah, we're gonna go in there and show him we don't believe his bullshit. And I'm sorry, I got to be just like that, because I truly don't believe. Look how he's speaking. Is this believable? It's not believable to me.
Watch it, and he was basically saying that police and law enforcement Drummond's...
You guys can go watch it here,
as well as the unalivings.
Like, y'all folk weird as hell. Like, y'all bitches talking about some accessory. I ain't no accessory to shit. Fuck is you talking about? They already done checked me. They already done checked my phone, where my phones was at. They done checked the security at my apartments, the cameras and shit, to see if I was at the crib and all this shit. I ain't had shit to do with the shit. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
So maybe law enforcement found...
I truly, even if he had nothing to do with it, and there is that possibility that he had nothing to do with it. I just don't believe he had no hand at all. Because again, how did Tanaka and Giovanni get involved? They're not the ones on Austin's page. You know who's on Austin's page? It's littered with Brandon. Brandon's there the day he walks out of jail. He's there for the party. They're best buds. They're hugging. Giovanni wasn't there. Tanaka wasn't there. Brandon was. So right before this arrest, he's on his live saying, I ain't got nothing to do with it. They took my surveillance cameras. They took this. They took that. Well, this man, I guarantee the type of man he is, and I've already looked into his, these are all thugs and dealers. So don't tell me that this thug that can't even talk right, don't tell me he doesn't know where those cameras are and doesn't know how to avoid those cameras. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'd like to see the plot. I can tell you, as soon as I go there, I can find where there's an exploitation of their security. I've done the walks enough time to know where the exploitations and how to determine the exploitations in the security. So now we're going to go over to listen to more of what is going on in the manhunt right now. This is the new, and then we're going to start going back into time just a little bit and getting up to snuff on what's going on and listening to the press conference.
On your news leader, a massive manhunt is underway at this hour in Jackson, Tennessee, for the man wanted in connection with the killings of 4 people in Lake County, Tennessee. This is exclusive video you'll see only on 3 of the scene where Austin Drummond's vehicle was located earlier this afternoon.
I wish I was in Tennessee to follow this case. Now, before we get much further, I do want to let you know I have received reports, but he's arrested now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mama Bear's saying we got an arrest. Hold on a second. We trust Mama Bear. Oops, hold on. Mama Bear, hold on. Is he arrested? Was he arrested? I checked before we went live. Nope. Not arrested yet. Just his two, but he is arrested now. No, Mama Bear, it doesn't look that way. Let me go on X. X is usually, if you guys need to know, this is kind of my, my go-to. Just for you guys, people that are breaking into the content creation. And this is true no matter what you're really covering to an extent, I should say, I think would be proper English, is X is usually a breaking news. So if you're looking for news that hasn't quite made it to mainstream media, your breaking news, finding that those tidbits of information usually is broke on X. Now, nope, they've just increased the reward. So he has not been found. So just to give you guys a kind of a breakdown. So when we have breaking news, my first go-to is X for breaking news. When I'm doing research and trying to find information about people are very chatty on Facebook. When I'm coming for more tailored, factual information, that's when I hit the YouTube and the Google. Okay, you see the YouTube and the Google, if you listen to how everything just broke down, is usually the last thing I look at. Why? Because I don't like mainstream media. It's very simple. So I go to actual factual resources and try to identify the people that would have information and factual information, and then we start monitoring any posts and other posts related to that. We identify very quickly friends, family, and everything else. But those are the people that we follow on these social media platforms. But that's how I do. Breaking news, X, research, Facebook, additional research as additional resources would be first YouTube, then Google. Okay, so now that we're back here, let's get back to where we were.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Greg is off tonight. The TBI held a news conference earlier this afternoon to update us on the case. Our WREG's Mike Suriani was there. He joins us live tonight from Jackson in that area where the search is happening. Mike, what is the latest?
Hey, good afternoon, Stephanie. may be able to hear a helicopter overhead, but there is a very large, I'm understating that, very large law enforcement presence here in this northeast part of Jackson. Now, Interstate 40 runs south of where I am now, so I'm in the northeast part of Jackson. It's a residential area at the corner of Farmington Drive and MCO Road, not very far from where Drummond left his vehicle, or where they recovered that vehicle. So there is a very intense search in this area as they're trying to find him. He's still on the run. Let me show you some video or a look from this camera where I am. And you can see law enforcement there, vehicles moving. And beyond me down there, you can see some folks from the neighborhood that are out watching what's going on. I've seen quite a few people out. Now one of the police vehicles leaving in a hurry. So that's something we've seen quite a bit of down in this area as this search intensifies, and they're out looking in different areas, following up on different leads. Now, earlier, TBI Director David Rausch mentioned something about how serious this search is, and gave a warning to residents.
And he is considered armed and dangerous. This is why we're advising the public not to engage with him, to call us if you see him, if you have information about his whereabouts, to reach out through the 1-800-TBI Find line. We have also, in conjunction with the U.S. Marshals, put a $15,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Yeah, I do want to mention that during that press conference this afternoon, where a number of representatives from area law enforcement agencies attended, every one of them sending out their prayers to the victims of this tragedy, and expressing just how shocking this whole event has been. Now, we're going to have much more on this search operation. That'll be coming up at 6 and then later on at 10. And we'll be updating this story, of course, on our website, WREG.com. And now reporting live from Jackson, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
All right. Breaking news is first at 5.
So we are learning that there was some type of deal that went bad, and that was actually released early on from Nick Barris, and why I went through kind of the dissertation about what I went through. Yes. What time is it? It's not quite 11. Why are you here? You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Come. Say hi. There you go. Say hi, everybody. See, I'm here with Mommy. I'm just down here. I just wanted to see what she's doing. I want to go play BALL, and she can't say it because if she says it on the screen, then I'm going to go crazy and start screaming to the top of my lungs because I'm so excited and I want to go play BALL. And see, I got a new little necklace. Mommy bought me a new little necklace. I love these things. You can get them on, I think it's Temu. For like $5. These little blingy necklaces. This is our second one. I thought it was going to be more purple, but it's actually looks a little more blue. And I was hoping for purple. So now I've got to try to find one with pink, something girly color, you know? She's just a little spoiled rotten. She's just a spoiled rotten. Mm-hmm. She just wants to go play. That's what she wants to do. She says, you guys are taking my mommy away from me. Mm-hmm. Thank you for visiting. Go have fun. All right. And so now we're going to go over to, I don't think I like this one. Hold on a second. No, let's back up. Hold on a second. That's not the one I wanted. Which one did I want? Give me a second. I've got these in order, but it's taken. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to play his. Even though it came with good information, but we'll leave it at that. And we'll go back to our beautiful Justin for All, which you guys know I have high regards for Clutch Them Pearls, Clutch Thee Pearls, whatever. You can never say it. Clutch Them Pearls. Okay. know. I never know. But Clutch Them Pearls. And this is a piece that he did yesterday, I believe, or late yesterday. And it's just I think it's really the same type of thing that Matt, I think it's the same topic of conversation that we just went over with Matt Thibodeau. But I want you guys to hear this news broadcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Really do appreciate you. So today we were live talking about...
And I do have to believe that if he says he really does appreciate you, he does. We appreciate you.
Austin Drummond, the man who is wanted for killing 4 individuals. And there had been this rumor that Austin and his associates in the prison, outside of the prison, in these gangs, that they were really dropping these alleged drugs and all of this in the prison. So we got to digging and we found this.
And this is going to be, I don't even know how to, like, I don't even know. Like, I'm so angry with the state of Tennessee. It's not even funny. And now we got the, like, how in the does this happen? They are in prison. They should be isolated from the rest of the world. No substances. There's somebody inside helping them. I guarantee it. Somebody needs to do an audit and needs to doge the crap out of their prisons and jails throughout Tennessee. Because this right here is happening way too much. How in the world are people getting high in our jails in Tennessee? Or any jail for that matter. Now, I get people sneaking stuff in through books and mails and soaking papers and doing all this other crap. But you're literally having drop ship delivery from drones and not one camera out there in the jail picked it up? Who the hell is sleeping? They're supposed to be monitoring those camera channels and TVs. They're supposed to be monitoring them 24/7. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. How does that happen? Had that not happened, state of Tennessee, had you not allowed that to happen, there would have been no hit. This is all on Tennessee. I'm not getting off their neck. This stuff is becoming ridiculous. Get your blessed together, Tennessee. This is an embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. To find out all of this, again, this is why I told you guys I don't see Nick Barris dropping that statement without him being somewhat accurate on that statement. He had to be ultra confident. Betty, this dingy ard was the puppet for the moneymaker, like security cameras, dogs, where's the guards, etc. Exactly. Jenny, that was courtesy of Sonia. I think she got tired of making me cuss jars and buckets. She realized nothing was working. She figured she might as well just silence the out of me. It works well.
Video and this article, and to me, in my opinion, this ties a lot of what we have been suspecting all along in this case.
You know what? At the beginning of this case, we had 2 possible theories: a drug connection or a familial connection. Those were our 2. After problem solving the limited factual information, those were the 2 avenues we went down. And crazy as it sounds, this was all in part both of those theories, domestic as well as drug related. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Take a look at this.
Following up tonight with more information on a large drug bust in a local county that leaves one man behind bars and another on the run.
WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nicholson is live in studio with the latest details. Caitlin?
Thank you, Brad and Terry. Last night, after a patrol officer conducted a traffic stop, the situation took a turn. Take a look. Wednesday night, a Bales patrol officer conducted a stop on a vehicle heading westbound on Highway 412.
That is no joke. Okay? I mean, it's not the biggest. I mean, that looks like some marijuana there. I don't know what those other bags are. Those other bags might be some marijuana there. So you're looking, I mean, this is not the most productive bust I've ever seen, but it's getting some stuff off the streets. This doesn't appear to be what I would think that they would be dropping in the courtyard, in all honesty. I think something a little more, maybe not so scent-based would probably have been dropped off. So very little Mary Jane. I would think that the stuff would be a lot harder, you know, maybe some meth, some Coca-Cola, you know, some H, I think would be more up the alley of what's being dropped in on drones.
Now, first of all, take a look at all of this. There's a lot of, you know what that is, right?
And I count 1, 2, 3, at least 6 phones. I see a Nintendo Switch. And I'm not sure what all these red little things are. And of course the cash, which not very much cash for, you know, the bust. I mean, this is not a huge bust by any stretch of the imagination, but a bust nonetheless.
All kinds of cash, 6 cell phones. There is what are they, like a Nintendo Switch? That's what they are. And all kinds of other rugs.
And I just want to let you know, I would not know what that green item is on the table had it not been for the coverage of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
You get me? But not only that, there is, you'll see in a second.
Director of the West Tennessee Drug Task Force, Johnny Carter, stated that upon the traffic stop, one person ran off on foot while the driver pulled off, but eventually...
That's the stuff right there that I think that they're dropping in the... But I still don't know what these orange things are. Does anybody know what these orange things are? If you know what the orange things are, let me know.
Came to a stop.
There was still the driver still in the vehicle, so the Bells police officer stayed with the vehicle. He came, the driver, called for additional backup units to arrive. He also called us and asked for the Drug Task Force's assistance.
Brandon Pat.
Well, here you go. This is one that was driving, that was in the car, Brandon Powell, who is obviously now allegedly arrested in connection.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that, because I was seeing some of the photos, like people out here that have never had, you know, that have lived good, clean lives, not knocking it whatsoever. You know, had my path, if I chose to do it all over again, I'd probably have chosen a different path. Okay, we'll say that. But I do have some experience. I have some experience with some bad dudes. And it came from my lifestyle that I was living when I was a teenager as well, that followed me into my 20-somethings. It wasn't until my late 20s, early 30s that I started looking to get my life together, you know? But here, when I saw those photos of Austin with a 4-tier storage rack filled with all of this food and stuff like that, that was my first telltale sign This man has been in prison since he was 15 years old. How in the world does he have money like that? We saw where he's getting pizzas delivered to. What is wrong with the state of Tennessee? Are you trying to deter people from coming to your prisons, or you're making so much damn money off your prison systems you want them keeping coming back? I'm trying to figure it out. Because when I saw that, the first thing I'm thinking is this man's bad news. That's all. That's like him showing everybody in the prison all of his cash. He's got cell phones, computers. What? Does the prison system understand that most of the kids that they're having problems with live in the basement of their parents' houses? This is no different than the way that they were living prior to them going to prison? What in the... is wrong with Tennessee? I better start looking in Florida before I open my mouth, because I'm telling you, if this nonsense is going, like, I don't want them to be cavemen, okay? Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's good or humane. But I think it should be used as positive reinforcement to keep them from fighting. You know, they have time to go out and watch TV or have time to go play on their computers. And they do it when they've been good boys. But when they've been bad boys, they don't get to go to their cell, lock themselves away like they're in their parents' basement, and play on the freaking Game Boy. What, again, the is wrong with Tennessee? And DeSantis? It better not be that way here in Florida, because I will be... I already don't like the man. He ain't getting my vote. DeSantis lost Bullhorn Betty's vote, I'll tell you that. But I'm telling you, that garbage better not be going on in our jails here. I want humane. I don't want them being crazy lunatics. I want them having outlets and positive reinforcements. But I also don't want them acting like they live in their mama's basement and have the lap of luxury just to get to come out 3 hots and a cot. No, that's not what I'm paying for. My federal funds are for rehabilitation, not a perpetuating cycle and a revolving door on the jail. That's not what I'm paying for. And if that's what we're getting, we're wasting our money. We need to find better avenues to spend our money for our law enforcement and our safety, getting these animals off the streets. And again, it comes back to, I think only the violent people need to be in prison. Okay? People that do stupid crap like the substances, the thefts, the non-violent stuff, they should be in work release. I don't care if you put them in work release for 5 years. I don't care if they have double-digit sentences when they're in work release, when they're having to be forced to get up at a certain time, go out there and work. That repetition is going to stay with them the rest of their life. But this nonsense of they steal a Snicker bar 3 different times, they get a 10-year prison sentence to sit in a jail like this yahoo. Don't get me started.
To Austin Drummond with all of this going on. So just listen to this. You're going to be speechless like I was.
Al was taken into custody. Carter stated that they came to help track the other suspect on foot.
During that tracking process, we discovered the backpack that he fled with. It had 1 pound of vacuum sealed marijuana in the backpack.
So one of the other individual took off and dropped a backpack. They found a pound of vacuum packed this, right? Just wait.
Again, not the biggest bust in the world. I'm not going to say a whole lot here, but again, not the worst thing that could have happened, okay?
He stated that the car had even more.
What was found in there was a drone, 4 mesh, like laundry bags, I guess you could call them.
Now that's how you do it. Pack the mesh bags, hook it to the drone, drop it off, leave it somewhere where somebody goes out and finds it and picks it up and passes it around. if they're able to consume green inside of that, we got bigger problems. And I would definitely think it's time for us to do a major overhaul and a major investigation into the jails and prisons in the state of Tennessee. If they're able to have a pound of Mary Jane drop shipped to their courtyard, they would have to be smoking it somewhere. And don't tell me that you cannot smell the pungent odor of Mary Jane. How is this even remotely possible? If Mary Jane got into that jail, this is without a doubt so many people turning the other cheek, because there's no way you cannot smell that crap. There's no way that if it was smoked, you couldn't smell it. I know. I know. Sandwich says Tennessee wants to lock Betty up, but lets this guy out. I know that deserves an applause. Way to go, Tennessee. Way to go, Tennessee.
Several cell phones with charger cords, a Sony PSP game console.
Phony. They said phony. That must have been something they must have been drop shipping into that jail. So even these electronics that they're allowed to have, these dealers are taking the guts out of them, packing them full of stuff, and dropping them in. So when they're walking around with their switch or whatever, they're thinking it's just a normal switch, and it's filled with all type of contraband. Way to go, Tennessee.
So
depressing.
They found
so
a drone with these little laundry bags that they used to move the rugs with the drone. And where did they drop it, you might ask? Well, we heard about this rumor about them dropping it into the prison, right? Allegedly the one that Aaron Drummond was staying at. Remember?
Interesting. So all those security systems around their jail, anything that they've got security-wise to let them know something is someplace it shouldn't be, all of those things just failed. Or they either just don't have them. And again, comes back to money and mismanagement, which is running rampant in the state of Tennessee.
The photos of Aaron, he lived a rather lavish lifestyle in jail.
Yeah. Why wasn't that a key factor for the heads of that jail? Why is it so not unusual when somebody is so young going in, has acquired such a large, massive amount of cash and wealth while being in prison? And no red flags came up, not to the warden, not to the cops, not to the people there.
These Nintendo Switches, televisions, streaming consoles, all the food you could want, had 2 cell phones, taking photos of all of this, right? Alcohol. Well, get a load of this.
Multiple fentanyl pills that were disguised like we call them dirty 30s.
Dirty 30s are made to mimic a 30 milligram oxycodone pill that's made from the pharmacy. These pills are created using fentanyl. Carter stated that the evidence concluded that the drone was equipped to drop the mesh laundry bags with marijuana into the Northwest.
So Mary Jane was being drop shipped. You have got to be joking me. You have got to be joking me. Thank you, Tara. Yeah, I don't really care for that content creator, so I apologize. I will watch it and see if there's any relevant information, but that guy's a knucklehead, just to let you know.
correctional facility in Lake County. He says typically you would.
Yes, that drone right there with that laundry basket, with those drugs, those cell phones, everything that you've seen right there was being allegedly dropped into the Lake County detention facility.
Can somebody please explain to me? Can somebody please explain to me how 20-somethings, knuckleheads, ding-dongs, how they were able to concoct such a massive enterprise, illegal enterprise. And you're trying to convince moi that nobody in that jail knew? Until I hear people being fired from that jail, I don't believe they're doing a good investigation. People need to be fired. Period. People need to be fired. Had this whole organization not existed, there wouldn't be 4 people dead. This is not just on Austin Drummond here. Yes, a lot of it is. But he was violent. They knew he was violent. He had no business being out on the streets. Anybody that's going to be let out on the streets is going to go out on those streets. My problem here at this point is how in the world was he allowed out? And I'm sick of that being a question that we ask often in these cases. Not every case. It's not as often as when we deal with a deceased person or a missing person, it being somebody that they know. It's not that often. But it certainly is often. Remember that jail that had all those inmates escape? But you know why? Because our government convinced us, right? Because that's what they do, the illusionists. Our government convinced us that they are not equipped to handle our jail systems, that they needed to give it to one of their buddies that can oversee and manage it and collect millions and millions of dollars as a middleman, further robbing the American people of their tax-paying dollars because the middleman has to be paid, right? We went from having the government run it, which of course our government is astronomical in cost because they don't know crap about management. They know crap. If our government was so financially savvy and we had so many financially savvy people working for our government, why are we always so broke? Maybe because they're not as savvy as they try to make us believe they are. Maybe it's more of a shell game to steal our money. They privatize these institutions. That means there is a company or multiple corporations out there profiting off the murders and the brutality of victims all over this country. Profitizing off of it. I have a problem with jails being for profit. I will always have a problem with our jails being for profit. Our government should be running it. They should be running it like a well-oiled machine. They should be doing what is right to rehabilitate these people. Some will never be rehabilitated, and those are the a-holes that should not be out in society with us. The ones that have the ability to be rehabilitated need to be in halfway houses and work camps, not in prisons. And for sake, judges, do your job. Because I'm getting sick of people being murdered, R'd, ST'd, SA'd, HT'd. Because you want to pander to PC. Oh God, they're humans, they deserve. No. When they're violent and they have the propensity of violence, you don't let somebody out of jail unless you are required to. You keep them behind bars and you keep this country safe at all costs, but not in violation of their rights. This man had no rights. He was in jail for 13 years. He committed crimes, including getting a attempted murder charge while in prison. What in the do they think he deserves to be outside of that prison when he can't even control himself inside that prison? The state of Tennessee, yet again, failed the public. And again, I love the people running the state of Tennessee. But at some point, when am I going to say, hey, we can't avoid bringing you under this bus because you guys have been in office all of this time, people I highly respect, and you still haven't gotten your crap together yet after all of these years. Enough's enough. I care about your citizens in the state of Tennessee, whether you do or not. And nobody deserves to be living in fear. Nobody deserves to be missing or deceased with nobody looking for them or fighting for them. We know the majority of them is somebody they know and most likely family members. Yet for whatever reason, when it comes to the state of Tennessee, all they need is a good story and they're turning the other cheek, right? The only way we're going to have justice in Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' case, we've already got Ray Whitley out of the way. That was problem one. Well, actually, that's problem two. Problem one is Eric Craddock and his poor leadership. If you guys want Sebastian Rogers' case solved, fire Eric Craddock. Get him the hell out of office and never hire him again in Sumner County for squat, unless it's dog catcher, because that's the only thing that man is qualified to do. That's the only thing. Or mosquito control. Okay? But I even think he'd be a failure at mosquito control. Just saying. Because he can't stand it when he gets stung. His butt's cooked. His butt's cooked. It's only a matter of time. So I'm going to lean on the good-hearted people. You guys have seen what he's done to your county. That's all because of Eric Craddock. All of this chaos that was brought to your county could have been resolved by him just being a stand-up guy and speaking to a camera instead of being too ussy with his tail between his legs. If he is, get him out of here. We say no to stalkers and stalking. People that are men and prey upon women. We say no. We say no to men that prey upon women. Just saying.
Exactly where Aaron was during this time. This bust right here that we're watching took place in March of 2024. Aaron did not get out until I think it's September or October.
I can tell you that in his head, he's thinking he's saying Austin, and it's coming out Aaron. The reason why I know he's thinking he's saying Austin is because I've done this so many times, it's not even funny. So if you guys hear him calling him Aaron, he's meaning Austin. He just doesn't realize he's saying Aaron. In his mind, he's hearing Austin coming out of his mouth. But I guarantee he went back to this and it's like, oh shit. Because that's what I do.
October of 2025. Let me check that, actually. I think I said 2024. Yes, 2024. Yes. This took place during this right here, this video, March 2024.
So they knew this stuff was going on long before it happened. And I think this bust here is probably might be a part of the catalyst of what we're dealing with, what the aftermath, this is the aftermath, but I think it all is related to what Justin's showing everybody here.
Aaron did not get out. Not Aaron. I said Aaron. Austin did not get out of the prison until
September.
What was it? September of 2024. 2024, last year.
6 months after this incident. So I want you guys to think about this. If this is truly what happened and his bud just got busted, could this have been where they reached out to Matt and said, hey, my bud just got jammed up. I need you to do this for me. And something happened with that, because we've got introduction to contraband into a penal facility 2 separate times in his charges. One was in July or June, and one was in August, right before he was released, which again, months before he was released, he's being charged. Maybe it was 2023. Excuse me. A year before he's being released, while he's in prison, he's already been charged with 5 counts of different stuff, including math, manufacturing of math, and distribution of math. When I first read those charges, I thought he was out in the streets. I had no idea. This revelation of him being in prison for 13 years has just come out in the last several days. Last week, I think it was probably Wednesday or Thursday, that we learned about his extensive criminal history, but none of us had realized that he was, or compared the fact that he had all these charges while in prison. I thought he had been released from prison, got these charges, got arrested, was out on bail. I had no idea that all of these charges were garnered while he was in prison. So he's arrested for aggravated robbery with a firearm. He's in prison for 13 years. And while he's in prison, he's cooking math, he's distributing math, and he's in possession of math. He's in possession of a firearm by a felon. How in the hell did that happen? And then you've got the 2023, a month later, with him being charged with attempted murder. I'm hearing that he was in prison during this time, that he has been in prison since he was 15 years old. These charges, even the gun charges, were in 2023. Let me confirm that. Still got it on my phone. Let's read his charges. Here they are. So here we go. First degree murder attempt, violation date, August 29th, 2023. Contraband in a penal facility, August 29th, 2023. Now, and this isn't, I had it backwards. This is 2 months after those charges. So he was, let me go back. So he was charged with a first degree attempted murder and contraband into a penal facility on August 29th, 2023. August 29th, 2023. And then November 13th, 2023, some 2 months, less than 60 days or 60 or so days, right around that area later, he is charged with Schedule 2 drugs, math, Schedule 6 manufacturing, delivery, selling, and possession, contraband into a penal facility, contraband intoxication drugs in a penal facility, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. Am I understanding he got a gun into a penal facility? And this was the math and the possession and the firearm thing was literally 10 months. 10 months before he was released from prison. Yeah, we know he was dating the guard. And she was charged. And it's probably because of some of this stuff here. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough. She couldn't have done this all by herself. That's not good enough. Somebody else was helping her. There's no way that one guard could be able to pull all this off. I mean, you got cameras all around that. There's no way. There's no way. I can process this stuff. There's no possibility of one lone guard being able to pull this off. You've got cameras. You don't know who's involved, who's watching the cameras, who's on, observation watch. You don't know. I mean, there's so many variables inside that prison that one guard would not have control over to be able to pull this off. So who else is involved inside that jail? But it's not just one. I can tell you that. Even with prior to this, it was never just one. It was never just one.
He's been out since then. Aaron, I still said Aaron. Austin was in this facility, this prison, while his buddy, right? His buddy right here.
Powell was taken into Brandon Powell was taken.
Why his friend Brandon Powell and another guy was dropping it in the facility. Here we go. Let me find this.
Sony PSP game console. Multiple fentanyl pills that were disguised like we call them dirty 30s.
Dirty 30s are made to mimic a 30 milligram oxycodone pill that's made from the pharmacy. These pills are created using fentanyl. Carter stated that the evidence concluded that the drone was equipped to drop the mesh laundry bags with marijuana into the Northwest Correctional Facility in Lake County. He said,
now, where is this facility? Well, again, it was the facility where Austin was.
And he noticed they said Lake County. And these people were, unalived in Lake County. But the way I'm looking at this story, before we go too much, and then we'll finish it up with the last few minutes of Justin's show. But just to give you an idea of what I think truly happened, I think that Austin got there somehow. I don't think Austin was in his car when he committed these crimes. And the reason why I don't think he was in his car when he committed these crimes is because he had the pickup truck. Now, the pickup truck was observed and located in Dyer County, Tennessee. Now, if you guys know anything about Dyer County, Tennessee, that's where Wesleyan was found. Wesleyan is the 6 or 7 month old baby that Adrianna and Matthew had that was abandoned in the car seat. Well, she was abandoned in the car seat some 20 to 40 minutes away from where they ultimately found the bodies. And the bodies were found, I'll give you the exact address. The bodies were found at 620 Carrington Road in Tiptonville, Tennessee. And so the way I'm looking at it is maybe Matthew picked up Austin. So this was, in my opinion, premeditated. He picked up Austin, must have carried him out to the house in Tiptonville where the family was. It sounds like he killed the entire family and maybe was trying to decide what to do with the baby. And instead of leaving the baby there, I think he took the baby with him so the baby wouldn't perish, because everybody knows If you harm a baby, he's from prison. You're gonna rough ride it in prison. Nobody's gonna have respect for you. You're gonna get a beat down every chance you get. You don't screw with kids. You don't screw with babies. And I think the reason why he dropped that baby off was to make sure that nothing happened to that baby. But that baby was dropped off in Dyer County, Tennessee, some 20, 40 minutes away from where her parents were killed, murdered senselessly. So I believe that this is where the after the fact charges come in. I believe he made a phone call, and it was either to Tanaka or Giovanni, or let's face it, this Yahoo, Brandon Powell, we just saw him with 6 cell phones, did we not? So this idea that there was no call to him on a burner, I don't believe. I believe that Brandon Powell is neck deep in whatever's going on. He is the BFF of Austin. He's been his ride or die since before he even got out of prison. Don't give me the BS. Brandon is neck deep in all of this. Neck deep. And right now, I believe he's singing like a canary. And I think that's the reason why he's not being charged right now. They gave that opportunity to Tanaka and Giovanni. They wanted to bold up. They wanted to keep their mouth shut. And guess what? They're now in jail. They wanted to play stupid games. They get stupid prizes. But I do believe, because that guy right there, Brandon, he ain't going down for this. He had no hand in it. He might have assisted him, but he ain't going down for this. And I believe he might be singing like a canary. That set aside, somebody picked him up in Dyer because they believed that Austin left in the truck. The truck was nowhere to be found. They said that they believed the baby was dropped off from the Audi. That means somebody had to go pick up that Audi and come out to wherever he was. So they dumped the car, they grabbed the baby, the Audi was seen, they dropped the baby in front of that house, and they took off. I believe that Audi was shortly pitched into the woods. It sounds like he may have actually been staying out there in the woods. I don't know why they didn't pull. 2016 Audi, I'm pretty sure it had some type of technology where they should have been able to find that car fairly quickly, a lot quicker than they did. Just my opinion. Now, the truck, on the other hand, you're talking about an old Ford truck. You don't have nothing in there to track, okay? That is back when they made trucks really, really well, okay? Not the crap we buy today. So that truck doesn't have equipment. So I understand why it took them so long to find the pickup. And I believe it was either Giovanni or Tanaka that led them to that truck, because they were already, I think it was Tanaka that was already arrested by the time they found the truck. So that's kind of where we are. So I believe that that's where the accessory after the fact came. Somebody had to bring that car to him. If that pickup truck was in Dyer County, where near anywhere in Dyer County, that's closer to that baby than anything. So it sounds like he killed him, took off in the truck, had the baby, had somebody meet him, because the eyewitnesses believe it was the Audi that dropped the baby off. So that means he had to have exited that pickup truck, got into his Audi, and they had to drop it off. Who was behind the seat of that Audi? I guarantee it was not him driving the Audi. It was whoever came and picked him up. He was probably in the other seat holding the baby and jumped out of the car and dropped the baby off and took off. So that's kind of where I'm seeing this going. That's just all in my head, okay? What I just said, there's nothing factual other than the fact of where all of these things were. The baby was in Dyer, they're in Lake, the pickup truck was in Dyer, and the statements of the witnesses that reported the abandoned baby, those were their statements. So outside of that, anything related to my opinion is my opinion. This is what I think happened. And that's kind of where we are. So I'm going to get back to Justin's. And you guys, if you would like to go see this without my commentary and just listen to Justin, here is the link. Please go over there and show him some love. Again, this was, I appreciate you, Justin, and thank you for putting this together.
Is at for a while, right? It is also the facility where his current or prior girlfriend, the half-sister to one of the victims, was working at and worked at up until the point to when Austin got out of prison.
I will be honest with you. I kept forgetting about Caitlin being in the facility. I mean, I know she was, but I keep forgetting it and putting that aspect in there when I'm thinking of they had to have an inside job. So I do believe she's part of the inside network, but knowing the intricacies of these jails and prisons, knowing that, you know, how secure they're supposed to be, the cameras that are supposed to be working, you know, the work orders that need to be put in when we have malfunctioning systems in those jails and prisons. For something like this to happen, to me, it's not one person. It's a network of guards. So who was she friends with inside that prison? That's going to most likely be her network. The people that she's seen talking to at the water cooler or sitting at the table eating lunch, that's her network of people inside there that's helping her do this.
And she was either allegedly was fired or allegedly quit after Austin served his sentence. So in my opinion, there has to be more to this.
Yep.
Definitely, in my opinion, has to be more to this. This guy right here that was dropping these rugs into the prison is friends with Austin back.
I'm just going to pause right here for a second because I'm going to go over to Nick Barris. Because I want to read this to you. Because at some point, this had to have been put on. This had to be put on to them. Let me read this statement from Nick. It was a pretty long-winded statement. And it was early on. And the rest, okay, so it was a few days ago. I might have to pull it up. No, I think got that. No, I think this was... He had a post. Maybe it's this one. No, not this one. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, I think it's this one. I think it's this one. So here, let me read this one. I think it's this one. Let me share this. Okay. So I think it's this one right here. It says Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. Let me put this on the big screen so you guys can read with me. Okay. It says Tennessee Bureau of Investigations will hold a news conference. It said, I've been told there's nothing really new to report unless something develops between now and then. The TBI director and others will recap what they already know and take questions, but unfortunately, I doubt we'll learn much new. I'll be covering it and let you know. Here's the latest. Drummond has been added to the TBI's 10 most wanted list. A reward up to $15,000 is being offered for information leading to his arrest. I've confirmed Drummond's connection to one of the victims. He dated Courtney's sister. The sister had worked at the prison where Drummond was incarcerated. Drummond was recently released from prison on a 2013 robbery charges, but has pending charges that he's out on bond for, including multiple drugs, weapon charges, and attempted first-degree murder charge while in prison in Lake County. About those charges, I've spoken with officers who investigated Drummond in the past, leading to the most recent charges. Here's what he told me. Drummond is a relatively high-ranking member of a gang. Drummond was involved in smuggling drugs into prisons. In one incident, he was accused of using drones to drop narcotics over a prison fence to inmates. This is very lucrative. My source, who investigated Drummond, also believes he fancied himself as an enforcer for the gang, and that it would not surprise him at all if Drummond has killed before. Interesting. This is a bad dude with a long criminal history, but not too smart. We don't know how, but authorities quickly linked him to 4 murders, I believe, that surprised him. The 29-year-old is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, 4 counts of felony in possession of a firearm, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. The deceased are identified as 21-year-old Matt Wilson, 20-year-old Adrianna Williams, 38-year-old Cortney Rose, 15-year-old Braydon Williams, the baby's maternal uncle. Motives for killing remains a mystery, though I have some theories. So where is Drummond? His photo is everywhere. There is a nationwide bolo. He's hiding, and it's highly likely someone is helping him, possibly fellow gang members. But there's no good end game for him. Authorities will close in on Drummond. I do not know if he's caught and convicted. I do know if he's caught and convicted, prosecutors will be seeking the death penalty, so he's not surrendering. And then there's this shared with me by someone who knows gangs. Drummond is now radioactive. Law enforcement is likely already cracking down on his gang, looking for him. Fellow gang members may well decide he's no longer worth protecting and dispatch him himself. My friends say he's seen that happen before. Austin Robert Drummond, 5'10", 190 pounds, with brown hair, blue eyes, and a goatee. His appearance may have been altered. He's believed to be in the 2006. No, this is not it. Let me keep going. That was a lot of wasted space, but there is some more. Good gracious, this stuff never works. There is still another one out there where he goes and says that he believes it was a hit. But, it's hard because I can't get this program to work very well. Maybe it was. Hold on. Okay, maybe it's this one. Okay, now. Anyways, one of them, let me see if it's on my phone because I'm sick of looking on all of this. Let me put me back on this big screen. Sorry about that. I'll see if I've got it. I'm pretty sure I might have it still in my system here. It's by Nick Barris. Okay, looks like it might have already. Delilah, I know it's getting close. Chill out. We're almost done. Cases. So all I got is movies in here. Good gracious. I could have sworn I read it. I thought it was in one of my videos. This is really starting to upset me just a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to have to probably go to my deleted. I must have deleted it. I know I've got it here, and it's driving me nuts because I can't find it on Nick's site. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. Here it is. Recover. We'll listen to this. Actually, let me send that to my computer. I think we might have a winner chicken dinner. There it is. All right. It's coming. It's almost here, and then we'll add it to here, and we'll just watch it. There we go. Video file. Let's see if this video file will work. We'll find out. I don't know if this is my my one before I made all the corrections or not, but we'll play it.
According to Nick Barris, this is a post released about an hour ago. He says, breaking, TBI identifies quadruple murder suspect and is asking for the public's help. Special agents from Tennessee Bureau.
I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my screen. There it is. Good gracious. No. There we go. All right, we're playing.
Of investigations have identified a suspect charged in connection with a quadruple homicide in Tiptonville. TBI agents obtained a warrant for 29-year-old.
Not the one. It's not the one. I'll find it and I'll put it out on a post. It's driving me nuts not to have it. We'll finish up with Justin. But they basically said they believe it was something, and I wanted to hear the words that they said because they believe it was a hit on Matt. And I will look forward, if you guys find it on Nick Barris's Facebook, please send it to me by email to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I would like to get that up for the audience to read because I think it's very important. I'm so irritated with this. I flippin' hate it. I literally hate it. I can't say it. We will be on Restream moving forward. I am done, literally done with StreamYard. I've had it to my limit. Even when I try to do the least amount of crap on here, it's irritating the piss out of me. We are done with StreamYard. I will not be back on this platform ever again. So tomorrow we'll be on Restream. I don't know how well it'll be, but I know I can't schedule a live. It just, when I pop up, it just goes live. That's the one thing I can't stand about it, but it is what it is. I'm not coming back to StreamYard again. I'm done with StreamYard.
All this. Absolutely gobsmacked. I could not believe, you hear a lot of things and all that, but this is actually true.
As typically you would see the lights on the drone, but the drone was tampered with.
They had placed electrical tape over the lighting of the drone so that...
Prison Live does not work well on MacBook. I've tried to download it. They do not have a version. They say they have a version, but it never downloads on my Mac.
It would not shine. You wouldn't be able to see it.
Authorities are...
So they put this tape over the drone so the light could not be seen when they dropped the rugs and the phones and whatever paraphernalia into the prison, right? Who was Austin's alleged girlfriend at the time? Well, of course, one of
thank you, Lisa.
The victim's family members, one that was working there, which the victims had died very, very, very close to this prison where their remains were found. This is no accident. no accident.
Still searching for the other suspect who ran from the scene.
We have one in custody at this time. The other one is still at large. We do anticipate being able to draw up warrants for that one that's still at large.
Powell is currently being held at the Crockett County Jail. Live in studio, Caitlin Nicholson.
So there you have it. There you have it. Crockett there, he was
Carter stated that
arrested.
But I'm trying to still piece this together because there was a point in time where it appears that Matthew and that side of the family must have taken up getting stuff into the jails, because if we were to listen to the Nick Barris post and this was a hit, they didn't know they were on the hit. That means this man was being their friend the entire time until he was ready to spring into action. I don't know what gang he's in, but he ain't worth it. And I'm going to tell you, you've got the U.S. Marshals involved. They are going to take your gang and chew you up. He's not worth it. I would turn him in. I would hold him down and call the police, get your $15,000 and move on with your life. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. He's being protected by somebody, and whoever's protecting him needs to stop. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. I can't play videos, so this is the end of the show. God bless you.